are 55 housing developments legal? Currently house shopping, and more often than not when I see a decent one for sale that I can afford, it's in a 55 neighborhood. First off, how is that even legal? Seems discriminatory, but since it's ageist instead of racist or sexist etc., it's okay. Second off, why are they cheaper? They're the ones with money. Let me buy that house for $400K FFS. Still call them, depending on the state. Here 80 or something has to be seniors. They rent what's left to whoever. It might not be the case here, but it's worth a call. They are legal because there is an exception in the Fair Housing Act for these types of communities. U.S. only recognizes age discrimination against the elderly. Age discrimination against the young is legal. Sun City, AZ is one level worse. The whole city is 55. So they have no school district. Which means they pay no school taxes. They benefited from the public school system their entire lives and then stopped paying into it. 55 communities near me are generally managed by retirement home companies and are more accessible for aging in place. The US-based answer is that young adulthood is not a protected characteristic. Not all discrimination is illegal if you use the basic dictionary definition. It's discrimination to refuse to drink motor oil. But rather specific reasons for discrimination in certain settings. Activities have been made illegal. It's a safe place for elderly people. I'm happy that my grandmother lives in one of those communities. Far less chance of something bad happening to them in one of those communities. Not all 55 people have money. You're also going to pay approximately $600 per month in HOA fees. So it's not the bargain you think it is. More boomers are poor. It's the small percentage of boomers or older that hold the wealth. It's like me saying, you're a white male. Where's all your money? They're not just normal houses with an age restriction. Senior housing is designed to accommodate disabilities. And in many senior communities there are services like meal delivery, transportation to shopping or medical facilities, security monitoring, senior social activities, etc. No idea why you're seeing these sell at low prices in my area. The senior housing is at least as expensive as other homes. And there are huge HOA fees for all those services. Because it's the law. But as to why fixed income is the answer you're looking for. My father lives in one of those 55 and over communities. They're not gonna automatically disqualify you if you're under the age threshold. And quite honestly, a lot of the ones near my father allow 0.45 and up. And not all people 55 and over have money. Many are on a fixed income. My father is on a fixed income. Every single one of his neighbors are the same. Yes, many got pensions or stock options way back when. But not all. Newsflash. Most of the over 55 places are HOAs. They're all freaking nightmares. If you wanna deal with a HOA, feel free. Not me. Thanks lol. Keep in mind most seniors are retired or just live off their Social Security check, which is about $2,000 a month. That's it. Do you also cry discrimination because you don't get discounts at the movie theater? Senior living communities serve a legitimate purpose and it should be legal for them to exist. White only communities do not. At least do not to anybody who isn't racist. In my opinion, they've earned the right to not have to deal with younger people. I say leave those communities alone. Because when my time comes, I'll likely be living in one myself. I like them. And most are child-free. Ageism only applies the other way. Unpopular opinion: the elderly deserve their own places to live. Age discrimination is not illegal and it happens everywhere. People 55 are heavily discriminated against and not all of them have money. Part of why they are cheaper is that they are harder to sell, as they have a pretty niche market. Other times, it's because you are basically long-term renting and when you die it goes back to the company running the community. Granted, that's less for 55 and more for age-in-place type retirement homes with multiple levels of care on site and have nursing homes attached. Well, it's a private residence, so people can do what they want with it. Same way with apartment buildings. People own those too. Because obviously old people haven't hoarded enough homes. Based on your reaction, they're probably trying to keep people with your temperament out of their neighborhood. The ones I've seen have a ratio they have to follow. Like 80 of the community is 55 but 20 can be younger. They will heavily screen the younger ones coming in though. Under 55 is not a protected class. Those communities are really beneficial for towns. They bring tax revenue, spending money and no load on schools. It's not discrimination. It's the same as other housing acts. You may as well ask why gated communities are legal. They're the ones with money. If all old people have money, why don't you just ask your parents for help? People under 55 are not considered a protected class. They're cheaper because they're limiting their market. If it didn't have that restriction, the price would go up. There are a lot 55 who do not have a lot of money. Many of them are on fixed incomes and they barely have enough money to survive. I understand how frustrating finding a home is right now, but that part of your post is just pure ignorance. Other than children, the only age-protected class are senior citizens. So if you are, say, 35, you are sole. Those developments are privately owned and can set whatever rules that they want. I used to be a relator and they are legal as long as they uphold a certain threshold. The moment a community drops below typically around 80, they lose their exemption. First off, how is that even legal? 1. The average age of Congress is 58. 2. The average age of the owning Class 1 is 63. The second group pays the first to write the laws they want. And they want to prevent being discriminated against based on their age while simultaneously being able to pay teenagers less simply because they're younger as well, and to make developments like those legal. With the way our anti-age discrimination laws work, 40 housing is legal, but 39 and under housing is not. Such is the country we live in. Elderly people are being taken care of. How fucking dare they do this to me? You will understand when you get older. Of all the things to bitch about being legal, I never thought I'd read this dumb shit. Housing is for rich people. It is legal to be ageist, but only if it is against young people. How is it legal for people 55 or older to live in houses? You in Florida? This is infuriating. Man, you really used the word ageist like it's a real word. Because you can't have old people sleep in the bed they made. They got to spend their lives voting for policies that drive up housing cost but don't have to deal with the consequences of what they did. In my area, their rent is literally a fifth of what everything else is.